Welcome back, team. Today's challenge is the Fibonacci sequence. The challenge with this, the real challenge, is that they don't want us to start at 0 every single time. So they're asking us to get, as an example, the first 10 numbers with 0 and 1 being the first 2 numbers. Or down here they have the first 5 numbers with this being the first 2 numbers. So it can start anywhere and potentially end anywhere. We also have some tests for 0 or 1, just returning the first, right? There's a bit of variation in here. So taking it on, we're going to switch over to the code mode and we are going to get this done. Now, my advice here is just to use a loop, right? We aren't doing capital F, capital P functional programming. We're allowed to use loops. So we're going to do that, which means that we should do const output equals an array, just like this. And now we can do our for loop. Okay, so for let I equal 0 and semicolons. I always want to do commas instead of semicolons. I don't know if you're like that, but I always get tripped up by that. So I always need to remind myself. Helps when I'm just saying it. I is less than length. Okay. So this isn't going to be the array or anything like that. We're just going to do something here. Semicolon again, I++, pretty standard stuff. And we are going to do stuff inside of here, okay? And then to finish it, we are going to return the output. Now, inside of here is where the real magic happens, okay? Because first, we need to take that start sequence and put it in here. Could we have put it in here to start? Absolutely. The problem with that is what happens if length is 0, right? Remember, way over here, we have that 0 or we have that 1. So we should populate this as we go, okay? We don't want to get ahead of ourselves and do that, okay? Which means that we do need a conditional here. So if type of start sequence, okay? Just like this, if I can type it, say sequence I, okay? So if type of start sequence I, it's going to be 0 to start, which is what we want, or 1. If it's any one of those, not equals undefined, just like this, then we do something. What do? Well, we push it, right? So here's our output, dot push, and it's going to be all of this good stuff. So I'm just going to copy and paste it right here. Brilliant. Now, because we're here, we don't want anything else. We could do an else statement here, but my preferred way is just to continue, okay? Which skips to the next iteration of the loop. That's what we're doing, okay? Saves us from having to do an else here. We don't need that. We can just drop down here. And if we get to this stage, now we are just adding the last 2 together and pushing it in. So right here, output dot push, and it's going to be output at, okay, whoops, not like that. Let's do it right. Dot at -1 plus output at -2. Okay, and at is very useful here. It lets us go from the start, go from the end. Doesn't matter where, it just uses that number to figure it out. So in this case, we're taking the very last item, adding it to the second last item, and pushing it onto the array. And at this point, everything should just work. It absolutely does. It works brilliantly. We didn't have to do a lot of complicated stuff to get there, right? We are just putting it into that output array, which makes it really, really easy. Did you find a different way? Did you find a better way, a more interesting way? This is only one solution, so I'm assuming that there are hundreds, okay? And if you found an interesting one that you want to share, I want to see it in the comments. Please do that, and I will see you tomorrow.